What's up, guys, and welcome back. Today I'm back here at Land Rover and Jaguar off Sarasota, Florida with this 2023 BMW X7. Now for 2023, there's a lot of changes that BMW made to their flagship SUV, even though they call it a mid-cycle refresh. But we have the brand new look, an improved engine, a different tech on the inside, and today I'm going to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle. We're going to start right up front here, checking it out and taking a look at the engine, talking about it. Then we're going to go around the entire vehicle, jump inside, play with some new and interesting technology inside of it. And yes, at the end of this video, as always, we're going to go for a ride together. If that's something that interests you and like watching content like this, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel. Consider subscribing and hit the like button as well as that bell notification. Now, let's get back to this. Unlike Mercedes-Benz GLS, which was introduced years ago, BMW X7 is quite fresh. It was first announced in 2014, but it didn't hit the showrooms until 2019. And this is the first time that BMW does what they call a mid-cycle refresh, but in my opinion, they did so much more than that. Well, first of all, you take a look at this hood right here. It is huge. It's very long. It's got two distinct indents on the sides, BMW logo right there, and surprisingly small grille for the size of this vehicle. Now, I know BMW has taken a lot of criticism on especially their 4 Series Coupe for being too large on the grills, and the 7 Series. Now this one fits perfectly into the large mass of this vehicle. Now this is also an active grille. You have those louvers that open up if you need that additional cooling. You have this front view camera right here and this satin chrome, or more like a polished aluminum trim that's all around it. And if you scroll down here, you can see a lot of open spaces. Now behind this screen, if you will, right here, there's a lot of BMW safety technology. That's where it hides a lot of spaces to let the air go through, to help with the aerodynamics and drive with this vehicle, including this huge gaps right here, those air intakes. And this, in my opinion, is the biggest change that they've done and the design of this vehicle on the outside right here is this light setup. And quite frankly, it took me a while to get used to it. I like it though. Now this portion right here, this is your LED turn signals, daytime driving lights, and then right here you have your headlights and your high beams. So nice. Now, by the way, this is a fairly base model, and if I was to buy one, I would probably upgrade it with either an M package or M Pro package that's gonna give you that blacked out and more sporty look on it. But this one doesn't look bad, right? They also have done some improvements to the engine. So let's pop the hood and let's see what powers up this thing. So underneath the hood, you'll still find an inline-6 turbocharged engine, but now it produces 40 horsepower more than 2022 model year, and that's at 375. It also has 398 foot-pounds of torque, and it is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, all of the X7s come standard with their Xdrive, which is the all-wheel drive system, and if you look where the engine sits, it's really nice and low for that better better center of gravity, and you also see a lot of bracing for that better drive and the better rigidity of this vehicle. And of course, the hood is propped up by the struts on both sides, and like most of the other BMWs, you have the double latch for that enhanced security so the hood does not fly open when driving. Well, here on the side, the changes are probably the least visible of the entire vehicle. It remains basically the same as the 2022 model year. Now, this is quite large vehicle. It's not as large as some of the Escalade or the town cars of the world or the Grand Wagoneers. It is 203.6 inches long with a 122-inch wheelbase. So it's the same platform where we see the X5, except it's been stretched up. It's a little bit taller, it's a little bit wider, it's a little bit longer than the X5 to accommodate for that third row seats and the passengers in them. But it's certainly not a huge vehicle. As a comparison, for example, the brand new Honda Pilot is about the same length as this, and the new Toyota Highlander or Grand Highlander that's coming out is going to be slightly longer. Now, this one, of course, is taller and wider, but as far as the point of reference, you get the point. Now, standard comes 21-inch rims, and quite frankly, I would definitely want to upgrade the rims. This is not my favorite rim design, but they are aluminum, and the tires on the 285 by 45. Now, this vehicle has an adaptive suspension as a standard equipment. It also has the ride height control on it. Another thing that I would definitely like to see updated, and getting an M package or the Shadowline package would definitely fix that issue. I'm just not big on chrome. So this trim piece right here that basically houses that air outtake from here or outlet, it's really too bright in my opinion, and that continues throughout the bottom of the vehicle and the rear bumper. Now, this vehicle also has the side steps, the low profile side steps, of course the smart entry system. The mirror itself has the turn signal camera and the blind spot assist. They also have the real roof rails right here, so you can put stuff on top of it as well. Now, the windows are surrounded with this polished aluminum trim, and the pillars are all blacked out. It seems like it does have some room in the back, so I'm excited to check it out for you in just a little bit. But before we do that, let's move around the corner, check it out from the back. Well, here in the back, first of all, you'll find this completely brand new all LED taillights. Love them. See how nicely they illuminate here. They're kind of this two-part right here with the reverse lights at the bottom. Of course, X7 on one side, Xdrive on the other, BMW in the middle, exposed wiper, and you have that third brake light right here in this gate spoiler. Scrolling down in here, you'll find dual exhaust. You also find the tow hitch with the 4 and 7 pin connectors. All of the X7s can tow up to 7,500 pounds, which is really good for the class. Let's get this gate open right here, and let's see if it opens as one part or two parts. So this, by the way, can be programmed. Right now we have it programmed so it only opens the top portion of this power gate. You can also program it that it opens both the top and the bottom. Like the X5s and the X7, they have those two-piece tailgates. Quite frankly, I think the only reason that you can use it for is so you can sit down and do some tailgating. I don't see another reason why this would be more practical than just one piece. Now, this one has the height control as well, so you can lower this vehicle by pushing on this button to reach the desired height, so you can actually load your stuff inside of here. And then let me grab the camera and I'll show you the roominess in the back. While the gate is open, let's check it out. Let's see how much room we have. So first of all, this is how that bottom part's open. And you have those two buttons, one's to close the gate and open it, and one to lower the car to the desired height. Now, inside of the vehicle, behind the third row seat, there's not a lot of room. I have this cargo cover right here that we can remove, so I can show you and what's going on as far as the seats and the configuration. And what else we have? We have the 12-volt outlet, some illumination in here. That's where the first aid kit's supposed to be. And right underneath here, you have an additional cargo compartment storage with the cargo cover. Now this you can install behind the second row seat if you're not using the third row, and this would be probably my choice just because you won't be able to have people see what you have inside. Now on the left hand side right here you have a set of buttons, and these are all controlling each seat individually, or you can also have max passengers, or you can hit the max cargo. Now max cargo, basically what it's supposed to do is to move all the seats and fold them down, and for some reason this is blinking, so I'm not sure if something is in the way or it's just not working properly. Let me get this figured out and I'll show you how the seats fold down. So there's definitely an issue here because the middle seats folded down but the back seats did not, and actually I don't have the ability to fold them down manually, which would be a big minus for me getting this vehicle. I think there should be a fail-safe somewhere here in order to fold these seats down. As you can see, you know, it doesn't work. You know, it is blinking, which means that it's has something in the way, I guess, but I checked it. There's nothing there. Same thing with the passenger seat. I had them folded before, so I'm not sure what's going on, but I kind of catch the drift. This is how much room you would have if the seats were working. Well, if you're wondering about the roominess in the back, I'm 6 feet tall and I can definitely see myself riding in the back seat here in this vehicle for an extended period of time. It is very nice, it's comfortable, it's adjustable. I have enough knee room, headroom, shoulder room, there's no question about it. The seats are fairly comfortable, they're adjustable several different ways, and the interior is very nice. Well, let me show you the rest of the interior and then let's jump in the back seat as well. Starting in the rear door panel right here, you see it's nicely wrapped with this material. I think they call it the Sensiff, and I don't think it's a real leather, but it's all over the place. It's nice and soft. You also have this aluminum trim piece with the illuminated ambient lighting inside and this wood-looking trim. Then you have the speaker, of course, right here, and the controls for your windows as well as the door handle. Now, on the higher trim levels, you're also going to get the sunshades. You don't get it on this base level. I think you have to upgrade it with a premium package or maybe another package as well. Now inside of the seat backs you have USB-C type of charging, and you can also install a tablet if you'd like to. Now also you have the seat back pockets on both driver and passenger seats, and here's your controls for the rear climate control. Now it does have the quad zone climate control as a standard equipment, so you can select it for different settings for different passengers. Right now you have the USB Type-C ports as well as the 12-volt power adapter. Now somebody looks like might have been using, this is not a standard equipment on this vehicle, somebody might have been using some tablets here as well. Now here's the back seats. Again, they're fairly comfortable. They're still on the firmer side, but all the BMWs are like this. Now this folds open, of course. You have your cup holders right here, as well as more storage underneath here, which is a really smart and clever thing for BMW for doing that. And also, if you wanted to have just this pass-through open, you can do that, and you know the rest of the seats will stay up. So this is your back seats. Now to get in the third row seat, check this out. So you push this button right here and you start initiating the whole dancing process. So the front seat moves out of the way and then the back seat starts folding down. And if you are waiting for your kids at school, you're probably being yelled at by the attendant to move your vehicle, but you say, hey, I can't do that because my BMW is dancing. Now, of course, then you'd have to move this seat forward, and then, and only then, you can get in the third row seat, which quite frankly, it doesn't leave you a lot of room. And you know, but let's get in there anyways, and let's see what we're working with in the third row seat. So after this vehicle finishes its dance and you're able to get into the third row seat, you'll find it very confined. Now, in this category of vehicles, You have the smaller ones like the GLS and the X7, and then you have the bigger ones like the Escalades and the Denali, Yukon Denalis, and the Navigators, you know, which are a lot bigger than that. Now let's see if I can even close this and have any room left for my knees, or I'm actually gonna slide behind here and see if that's even possible. And I gotta tell you, it's not. So for kids only, let's put it this way, adults will find it extremely uncomfortable. You do have your climate control settings here as well. And I definitely could use that right now because I'm melting. You have your lights, vents over here, which is nice. And then you have your very tiny cup holders, definitely not US standards as far big gulp, forget it, not even close. Now let me get out of here and let's get in the front seat. Well, let's get inside, but before we do that, let's listen to the sound of the closing door. All right, nice, super solid, 10 out of 10. Guys, take a look at this door panel right here. So similar to the rear door panel with the exception of a few things. So first of all, you can control the rear seats. You can move them forward and backwards. And then you can set your memory seat settings for the driver. And then if you hit this, it's going to be for the passenger side. You can also lock and unlock, and this is of course your mirror lock window controls and the gate opener right here. Same kind of trim as in the back, more storage as far as the bottom of the seat and the door, I'm sorry, and the seats are power controlled, several different adjustments, and that of course includes that tie support. And is it the manual, or in this case is it, oh, I don't feel anything underneath here. But here's your bolsters, you have the lumbar support, you have you know, regular adjustments for the seats, so plenty of adjustments to make sure that you're comfortable with it. Also the steering wheel, tilt and telescoping, and then let's get inside, I'll show you the rest of it. And here's the interior of this 2023 BMW X7. As you can see, it definitely has been updated by a mile as far as the technology. But is it a good thing? Well, let's check it out. Let's start first of all with the design of it. I don't mind the design. I think they've done, you know, a nice job kind of redoing the dashboard. You know, I'm not quite sure how I feel about this wood trim. This would definitely not be my first choice. But there's other trims available, and they have this trim piece right here with the X7 that looks really good, and I bet it illuminates at night too. We're going to see the illuminations set up in later on. Now you also have the speaker right here, and you probably can't see because it just started raining, but we do have a nice size head-up display. Now, decent sized steering wheel. This actually feels good in your hand, and I like that they didn't use any of the piano black on the sides as far as the buttons. Now you have the pretty pronounced pedal shifters in the back. This is basically controls your cruise control. This controls your instrument cluster as well as the voice control. BMW logo in the middle, some polished aluminum and leather. That's pretty much what you have. Also, it's important on the BMW, on this stock right here, you can change a bunch of stuff inside of this instrument cluster. So in case you're looking for it, you can definitely make some changes here. So values for this trim, this one says that it burns 0.5 gallons per hour. This is kind of a strange measurements, but that's what it says. Now, as far as the gas mileage, 21 is the combined, and 22 is the combined. 21 in the city, 25 on the expressway. That's from BMW. So not bad for a large SUV like this. Now you have this two screens. You know, one of them is this 14.9-inch screen. This is bigger than Mercedes got 12.3, and now they have a bigger one. They have the 14.5 and then vertical screen. But they have this new screen. They have also the new screen here. And I'm not sure. Now I know the 2024 X5 is getting the same screen setup as this. Well, let's check this out. So first of all, what we have. So on the left-hand side, you have a speedometer. Right-hand side, you have a tachometer. Also, you have the digital speedometer display right on the left-hand side. Parking, that's where we're at. 86 degrees and 1,000,000% humidity, which that doesn't show you that, of course. And then let's see what we can change here. So you see the head-up display right here have the different settings. We're toggling through here. Here's the layout of the dashboard. Okay, so if you don't like the standard one, you can change it to a couple of different layouts. And then as far as the content, you can also select of what's going on in here. So as far as the route preview, and put a map in here if you'd like to. G-meter, media, radio, see what's playing, and then so you can toggle through here and you can leave it blank with the speedometer only. So definitely a lot of information that can be accessed through here. And now let's move on to this main infotainment system that has been upgraded. It's got this new graphics, new look on it than the previous BMWs had. Now is it still a touchscreen? It is. And check this out. Look at this menu. It looks like an Android device basically. You have so many different features that you can go through. Now of course you can control it through here, and BMW still left this controller down at the bottom, which I find out of any of those controllers, I find this to be the most accurate one. So I'm actually gonna go through here and see what else is in those settings. Oh my goodness, mobile devices. So it does have the wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay right here, FM radio, Sirius XM, presets, navigation. See what the navigation looks like, starting navigation system. It better be standard. It better be standard. Come on, you can do it. And it's thinking about it. What are you thinking about? Oh boy. Now, I don't know if this is the first time ever that somebody tries to open up this navigation system, or if it doesn't have it, or if it has to download the maps from the cloud, but I'm not liking it. I actually have to get to BMW and check out their brand new one, see if this is maybe something that's not working on here. So seat comfort, okay, driver's seat, so show seat settings, automatically use seat position and save position 1 and 2. You can do that front passenger seat, second row seat, seat climate control, seat operating tips. You have that in here. Live vehicle, okay. This vehicle's got 13,000 miles. So in case you're questioning how does it hold up, not so well. Looking at some of the stuff that's not working on the vehicle. Now, it could be that it's just, you know, it needs a factory reset. So I'm not going to panic on this. And all right, so adaptive content, vehicle status, trip data, X view. Now the X view, of course, it opens up the pitch and roll, and it gives you all of the information that you need for an off-road use. And let's go back out of here. Let's see what else we have. System settings. So that's different, definitely a different interface that we've seen on, let's say, like I just did the X5 within the last week. Reading light, ambient lighting, it's on, and yes, you can select several different colors, as you can see, whatever one you like best. And it's really hard to see, but we're gonna see. Okay, background light, boom. Let's get this all the way up. Accent lighting, yeah, let's get all of them all the way up. You can still, you can't barely see it, and this light, but you know, you can see a little bit of a blue kind of peeking through here. You also see blue right inside of here. You see blue on this X7 trim, so it's got to look really, really good at night. Now we're gonna get out of here to the main menu, and I gotta tell you, I am shocked by the amount of icons that you have in here. It's almost too confusing. You have the digital key, messages, Wi-Fi connection, climate control. Let's see what that is. Woohoo! My goodness, you have to get a PhD to find out everything about here. So, heated steering wheel, heated seats, very high as far as the fan, dynamic, max AC, sync. I mean, you have all kinds of different stuff that you can program in this vehicle, and hopefully once you get it right at the first time, then you're good. So head-up display, you can select the height, rotation, instrument cluster. All right, you can have display location for lists, messages. Let's see what else is here. Speed limit assistant, time period for trip data. All right, you have a lot of stuff in here. Control display. Turn off control display or turn it back on. Wow, doors and windows, driver settings, exterior lighting, parking and vehicle status. That's going to tell me if there's anything that the vehicle thinks that's wrong with it. Let's hit this. All right. Check control, third row of seats, risk of injury. So there's something that's preventing those seats from folding down, and you know, it might be something that I haven't seen, and that's why they're not really working well. I was able to fold them down, or fold them up, I should say, when I got in this vehicle. Well, this is it. This is your infotainment system, so definitely, I mean, in order to get all of this in the video, I probably should make another one. Maybe I'll go to a BMW dealer and see if I can just do the video on this. But I like this trim piece. Okay, what it used to be on the previous BMW trims, you have a bunch of shortcut buttons for like your climate control, and I like this. Now this is all on the screen. You hit that climate menu, and basically this is what shows up. So it's a little bit different, right? Now you still have your volume button, you know, seek track type of deal, hazard light, max air, front windshield defogger, rear window defroster, and now we haven't checked out the rear view camera yet, so let's take a look. Boom. We'll put it in reverse. Very nice. All right, so you have the panoramic view. I really like the quality of that camera, and you can see, you know, from different camera angles. Like this one is the front camera start backup assistant. We're not doing it right now, but panorama view. Okay, more settings. Trailer coupling view. There you go. Here's your car wash view. So if you're going into those tracks in the car wash, that's really helpful, believe it or not. A lot of people get hung up on those, like literally. All right, so this is your rear view camera. Looks pretty good. Scrolling down in here, my God, there's just too much of that trim here. Okay. Well, that vehicle definitely is going to have to redeem itself, but me doing a brand new one with probably a different trim level. But anyways, this opens up, so you have your wireless charging. You have another spot where you can put your phone. This is all like rubber lined, so stuff doesn't turn around or turn over here. You have the cup holders, you have the 12-volt power outlet, USB type A, and this has changed, and I see the 2024 X5's got this too. I'm not opposed to this type of shifter, but I like the other shifter a lot better. So here's, you put it, push it forward, and this is your reverse. You push the P, and then you're in park, and then you can do, of course, the neutral, drive, and sport, depending how you want it. Now here you can turn off your traction control, parking sensors, and you can change the modes. I'm going to show you how that works in just a second. Hill descent assist, auto hold for the brakes, parking brake. This is your right control right here, so you can see we're lowering this vehicle right now, and if it reaches that desired setting, it's going to stop blinking. And this is where you control this infotainment system with a whole bunch of buttons here. So media, home, map, telephone, nav, back options, and then of course you can twist it, you can push it to the side, and if you find something that you want, just hit that. Really nice and comfortable, surprisingly. And now let's check it out how the sport modes look. So now you can do sport individual, and same thing with comfort. Balance settings right here. I like the graphics in here. Eco Pro, efficient driving settings. Eco Pro individual, you can adjust it individually. So you can make some adjustments to it as well. And it says configure individual. So let's see what it let us do. So as far as the damping and the suspension, it's in the sport mode right now. You can do it sport or comfort. Steering, the same thing, sport or comfort. Drivetrain, it's in the next one, sport or comfort, and then you can reset to sport standard. So basically you can either do all sport, or you can, you know, incorporate some comfort features in there as well. Right, let's go up here, and then you see the lights. Turn on the lights, you push the buttons, or you turn on the lights in the back. Now there is, oh, this is interesting. I haven't even noticed that. Let's check this out. So first of all, you have this panoramic sunroof right here. Let me twist this camera around here. Okay, so it's better to see. And then you have another sunroof for the third row passenger, and this is really all standard equipment in here. So that allows tons of light to get inside this cabin. It's pretty nice, illuminated mirror on the visor, and this is the interior of it. Now let's take it for a spin. And technically we're ready to go, but before we do that, as always, let's take a look and see what's available as far as the different trims and packages on the BMW's website. So 2024, 2023 is no longer on their website, but the BMW X7 Xdrive40 starts at 81,900. This is the one with the same powertrain as this, 375 horsepower. BMW says that it can get 0 to 60 in about 5.6 seconds, and I know it has been tested quicker than that. Now, there's also the, which is the new designation for BMW X7 M60 that replaces the M50, and that vehicle has got 523 horsepower, 4.5 seconds 0 to 60, and it starts at $108,000. And if that wasn't enough, you of course have the BMW Alpina XB7, and now we're talking 3.9 seconds 0 to 60 with 631 horsepower. And the price, is that important? Yeah, I guess, you know, we can touch on that. 149,400 as the starting MSRP. Now keep in mind, like any of the luxury SUVs, you can add so many different features to this vehicle. Like at $81,000, you basically get this, right? This seems like it's a fairly base model with the base rims, with the base luxury trim. Definitely a lot of upgrades, you know, can be done on it. So if you like a little bit sportier, you get this M package or the M Pro package, and the different wheels, you know, and maybe different seatings, you know, as far as the covers and trims. And you know, I know that there is an ability to have this rear seat package with the BMW. So definitely, if you see this video and you go like, yeah, you know, it doesn't have anything, well, that's because it's a base model. But definitely go to the dealerships and have them build one the way you like it. Now let's take it for a spin before we actually start driving it. Let's move it right here, and let's check out the turning diameter of this thing. So okay, I have the parking spots right here. Now keep in mind, 203 inches long, and let's turn it all the way to the left, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and just a little bit. Not as tight as I thought it would be. Let's see, one more time, just so I make sure that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3/4. Okay, not bad. Okay, I have it in which mode? Sport individual, which is basically sport standard because I haven't changed anything. A couple things to check out. One thing is the body roll during turning. So let's do a little bit of twisty turning here. Okay, pick up some speed. All right, don't be shy. Yeah. Okay. It is a little bit boaty, but I mean, you can expect that from the large SUVs such as this one. And then off the line acceleration, of course, without going anything crazy. We're in the parking lot, so let's hit it. And hit the brakes. All right, get it up to 40 in this parking lot and hit the brakes. It definitely that gets off the line quick. Now, this engine, I have to tell you, I've tested an X5 recently, and I have to see that I don't know if they upgraded the engine on the X5 for 2024 to produce 375 horsepower, but that one had 335, I believe. It was a 2023, and it's buttery smooth. I had the vehicle for a week, and it's really, I love this inline six. I don't care what people say with the 4-cylinder hybrid, it just feels different. The power delivery is so much better, in my opinion, on the inline six versus the 4-cylinder. But, you know, to each their own. I like it as if they approved it on the X5 to be as powerful as this. Wow. This feels very good with this half throttle acceleration. Actually merges into traffic with no issues. It feels a lot smaller than it is. Now, like I said, it's not a huge vehicle. It's not a super large vehicle. So, you know, don't expect this to be the Cadillac Escalade, anything like this. Here's another thing worth mentioning. Now, this vehicle is super quiet on the inside. It's like library quiet. Now we have it in sport mode 0, and let's go. 20, 30, 40, and 60 miles per hour. No issues there. The engine doesn't even sound very loud when it's doing it, so it's very effortless. This engine can definitely propel this vehicle, you know, really quick. I'm not sure what the number is. I know people tested it under 5 seconds, over 5 seconds. Really, who cares? It's fast, unless you're tracking it, which I hope you're not buying the regular X7 to track it. Then it doesn't make a difference. Can it merge in traffic quickly and efficiently? Absolutely, yes. Does it feel good? Yes. The seats, surprisingly, the older BMWs were super stiff. Like, this is one of the reasons why I never really was a big BMW person. Fast forwarding, you know, I spent about a week with the X5 last week, so I have a very fresh comparison. It feels very much like this. This one's probably even more luxurious, even more plush than the X5, and it was fine. And I did 600 miles on that trip, which was quite a bit of time spending in the car. No problems at all. I would do it again in a heartbeat. Now, so that's one thing that improved. And, you know, a lot of people are complaining about the BMW technology, myself included. They definitely improved the ability of this vehicle. Now, this is kind of awkward as far as the whole setup of it. Now, there is some shortcuts on this home screen that hopefully get you to the places that you want to be. But if you go to this main menu with a million apps, it is somewhat confusing. So, you know, that's something that definitely would take a little bit of getting used to. As far as the rear seats. Now, I never liked this rear seats on the X7. I didn't like it on the previous generation, that you couldn't just, you know, come up to the vehicle and override it, folded it with your hands, with you know, without pressing the button and waiting forever for these seats to fall down. Same thing with here. And look, you know, I don't know what the issue is with this third row seat, but I tried several times and it doesn't fall down. It's apparently it detects something that's in the way, so it thinks that it's at risk of crushing something. There's nothing there. There's the imaginary thing. If there was an override, I would basically just fold it down and move on. Now, whoever owns this, like in this case, the dealership would have to take it to BMW and get it fixed, which I'm sure they will. You know, it's a brand new car, almost brand new car with the warranty, so that's not an issue. But, you know, the override would fix that. The roominess in the third row seat, you know, obviously there's only so much you can do with this size of a wheelbase, with this size of a length of a vehicle, but definitely not the biggest one out there. Now, for a driver, for 5 people, family with some luggage, this is definitely super comfortable. But why would you go with the X7 if you can go with the X5 and get, you know, basically for $80,000 you can get a really nicely loaded X5. So here it is, guys. This is the BMW X7 and my take on it. I think they've done some nice improvements on the exterior of this vehicle. I like the refreshed style. Not quite sure if I like the technology here as far as the screens, as far as the functionality on it. I kind of would like to see that climate menu be untouched in the middle right here, where you could see, you know, the temperatures without going through the screen. That would be my choice, but like I said, to each their own, and everybody is different. Now, I have this vehicle back right here. I'm gonna flip it over into the comfort mode and see what difference it does. All right, we still have the acceleration, really nice. Definitely loosens up a little bit of the dampers in the suspension. There's a little bit of a hesitation when switching the gears. I guess this is not as aggressive mode, but overall, nice, quiet, you know, I like it. So definitely worth taking a look at $80,000 for a base trim. You get a lot of standard features on it, but you can definitely get carried away and probably top it off at over 100 grand, which would be a lot of money. But then again, I just reviewed the Lexus LX600, which competes in the same category, and it was in the top of the line. That was over 100 grand. Easy for the GLS to get there, as well as the Cadillacs and, you know, the Grand Wagoneers as well, as far as the domestic ones. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you like this, and I hope you like watching content like this. If you do me a favor, hit that little red subscribe button at the bottom of this video, and welcome to Matt the Carguy family. If you're already a subscriber, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.